Unhinged Caleb is greater than soft Caleb. Why us little apples miss our Colonel Caleb so desperately? Let us talk about it in this very maybe controversial video. It's probably not controversial if you are a little apple or if you are a Caleb girl. This is definitely not controversial because little apples like myself who fell in love with his character when he was reintroduced back into the game in January of 2025 earlier this year know that he is one of the possessive, obsessive and darker love interests. And because he grew up as MC's childhood bestie, there is a lot of unresolved tension there, and with his overwhelming need to constantly protect and ensure that MC is safe at all times and under his watchful gaze. So why is it that most of us miss our sexy unhinged Colonel Caleb? Let's chat about it in this video, shall we? Now, before I begin my video, big disclaimer. If you do not like Caleb or you dislike him, that is completely okay. This video is definitely not for you and you can politely swipe away and you can not watch this video. So this very lovely post I have found on Reddit, so a huge shout out and thanks go to the wonderful Reddit posters and creators that post their thoughts and opinions for all of us to fangirl and fawn over, alright? Now the thing is, not only will I be talking about the post, but also a few comments that stood out to me. As per usual, I have been doing this for quite some time now. If you've been watching my channel, you're always free to welcome, wow, you're welcome to, to check out my Love and Deep discussion playlist, where we discuss about a lot of things related to Love and Deepspace. So you're welcome to check that out if you like this video. And not only will I be talking about the Reddit post, I will also be sharing some confessions from Caleb girlies and what does it mean if you resonate with Caleb the most. The post is short, sweet and simple and reads, I miss Colonel Caleb. Please don't throw rocks at me yet. I'm all for Caleb's cards recently and how their relationship is progressing sweet and smoothly. But I like the drama. I was revisiting the main story and the far space cards and realized how much I missed him frowning and being his dramatic, unhinged Colonel self, and I hope we get some main story Caleb soon. I don't know if it's a shared sentiment or if I am just drama hungry. So moving on with some comments that stood out to me. This first one, trust me, most of us Caleb girlies feel the same. We miss our crazy Colonel, but all we can do is yearn for him till he returns. Now, before I proceed, it's very important to remember that Caleb is the king of yearning, a desperate, passionate craving, a burning desire that consumes the heart and mind, a relentless pursuit of a dream or a love. And this beautifully and symbolically describes most of Caleb's persona and MC towards Caleb as well as all of his little baby apples out there, okay? Another comment says, miss the main story overall. The new cards are fine, but story-wise, they just reunited. And here we have MC and Caleb acting like nothing happened. This next awesome comment I'm going to read into two separate parts. The first part reads, I guess people ain't ready for a truly dark character, so the game devs keep chickening out. What's the point of having 5 characters if they eventually all end up the same mushy enamored guy in 5 different skins? Sometimes when someone sends me a screenshot with the quote from events, I literally cannot tell which love interest said it because they are too similar in them. And I truly dislike the bashing of people who love shadier topics and characters. When a character is perfect, kind and thoughtful and everything is sailing smoothly, there are no stakes, and to me it's just the extended version of and they lived happily ever after. For a game to feel engaging and interesting, it is nice to have characters with secrets, aura of danger, suspicious, someone that you cannot read instantly and you aren't sure if they will get character growth or if they will drag you down on their level. Then the second part of the comment, which goes on to say, it is not for everyone, but if 1 out of 5 characters is like that, everyone who finds it triggering or just distasteful can walk away from the said character as there are 5 characters to choose from. Now here someone could say, well, if you do not like Fluffy, play some other game. The thing is that the characters are definitely advertised with the darker side. It is just that Infold fails to deliver the balance in the events and cards with the exception of Catch-22. For some reason, people try to force their triggers onto everyone playing and call for restraint of those writing the stories. Maybe I am just old, but back in my days, I searched for the content that catered to me and blocked what did not. And now it feels like people want to force the content to work out for them instead of moving on to something that fits their needs more. Now, do not take my writing too seriously. It is just a game in the end. Nothing important, winky face. Another comment says, I miss Colonel Caleb too. I'm in it for a good story and I don't care how dark it gets. Surprise me, Infold. But seriously though, a lot of people don't realize that MC has all the emotional control over Caleb. You can literally do anything to him and have him do anything for you, as long as it doesn't jeopardize your safety. You just gotta know how to handle him. People are scared and think he's dangerous, but he's not dangerous to MC though. Isn't that one of the main appeal in paranormal romances? Caleb always bends his principles and morals for MC. Back in school, he let that one person get away from a write-up because that person helps deliver MC's snacks. Or when he uses his Evolve to help her cheat in competitions. Or when he turned off the mood tracker at the interrogation at the right time so that MC can pass. What's the worst thing that he did in main story? Put on a serious face and disapprove of MC getting into unsafe situations? Calm down. He's acting like that because he's terrified that you'll get hurt and captured by Ever. Y'all so easily spooked by a sexy man. Another comment says, no, because Caleb mains have said this many times. We want the drama and the angst of the main story back, and it should be brought back because this is who Caleb is. MC learning of his robot arm as the cliffhanger, they're setting up big time for the main story. Enough fluff already, and I'm a fluff enjoyer. Literally, not to get it twisted, I'm sure all of us baby apples agree unanimously that we love to see his cute, fluffy and spicy sides. We want to see more of that spicy, unhinged side from the main story because that possessive, dark and obsessive side of him is one of his major appeals, right? Now, some juicy Caleb girly confessions. Why do you like Caleb? He's such a red flag, which gets thrown around at us quite often. I can relate to his disorganized attachment and CPTSD and possible BPD. I never felt truly loved in my life. And I love how he's obsessive over MC because he would make me feel so secure. He would love me no matter what and never leave me. That's why. This next Caleb girly confession honestly resonates a lot with me. A common theme with Caleb's stories is him wanting to escape from reality, go back to the past, or escape from his traumas. Which has me thinking maybe Caleb is for the people who want to escape their reality and or traumas with him. Why do we feel safe with Caleb? There's a reason why so many people feel safe with him, not because he's free of conflict, but because he loves you without complicated conditions. For someone who grew up being afraid of being left or who's used to giving more than they receive, Caleb feels like a warm hug that doesn't ask for anything in return. He'll stay even when you can't explain why you're crying in the middle of the night. But that's exactly where the challenge begins. Sometimes, love that's too close with no space to breathe can feel like a blanket that's too heavy. If you love Caleb, maybe there's a part of you that's still learning to tell the difference between being cared for and being overprotected. Maybe you're used to being the strong one, and now you've fallen for someone who wants to be strong for you instead. Someone who's drawn to Caleb usually isn't as sweet as they seem. The empath who's always tuned in. People who like Caleb are often the one everyone vents to, even when they're struggling themselves. They know what it feels like to be too much or too sensitive, and that's exactly why they're drawn to someone like Caleb, who's gentle and emotionally present. Longing to feel seen and prioritized, they're not ready. But behind all their strength, there's a quiet longing to be pampered, prioritized, and cherished without having to ask for it. Craving emotional safety, they've probably been hurt or called too much in the past. That's why they look for someone like Caleb, someone who can be a safe place with no drama or manipulation. And really, who's more stable and ready to love than Caleb? Sweet, but with boundaries. They're often seen as sweethearts, but that doesn't mean that they're easy to play. They know compromising too much drains them. They love Caleb because he understands limits and never pushes. Even if they need space, Caleb won't take it personally. They want to be the soft girl, but the world's too harsh. Let's be real. Many of them want to be soft and tender, but life keeps forcing them to be tough and rational. Caleb feels like a reminder that being soft is okay, and you can be fragile without being judged or left behind. In short, they have so much love to give, but also so many wounds not everyone can see. Well, that made me quite emotional, to be honest. Now, I've been obsessed with Caleb ever since the time he was introduced in the main story. when MC and him go and have lunch at Grand's house, I was crushing on him pretty hard. Even though I started the game as a Silas main initially, I am no longer just a single love interest main. I love all the guys, but I have a primary focus on now Zane, Caleb, and Silas. But if I'm being completely honest with you, these days, or at least the last couple of weeks, I've been feeling a strong gravitational pull towards Caleb. No pun intended. No, for real though. I just feel like there are a lot of sentiments and emotions that I can relate, and I can really, really feel like I understand where Caleb is coming from. Yes, he might be a little crazy, but we love him for his crazy, and we also love his soft side. Okay, don't get me wrong. We, all of us baby apples, we love to see his soft side and his caring, protective, nurturing side. But that crazy, possessive side is why a lot of us fell in love with him in the first place, okay? So I was absolutely blown away by his unhinged and possessive nature when he got reintroduced back in the main story. I literally have a video on my channel where I reacted to all of his trailers when it came out in January earlier this year, and I was freaking out over him for 17 minutes straight. You can always check that out if you'd like in my trailer reaction playlist. Him in all of his kernel glory and his delicious forehead. Free the forehead. I hope we get hairstyles in the near future where we get to see their forehead, because all of them with slick back hair, especially Caleb. Okay, maybe I'm just being very biased right now, but Caleb looks so fucking hot with his Caleb, with his forehead exposed. His unhinged Persis persona from his Tomorrow's Catch 22 card is my absolute favorite. I mean, I love all the Tomorrow's Catch 22 cards. If you know anything about me, or if you've been watching me for some time, or if you're new and if you didn't know, now you know. The Tomorrow's Catch 22 series of cards remain my favorite cards of all time in the game up until now. The writing was just so beautifully executed. Like I fawn over and lust for those cards and simp for those cards like a simperella that I am till this date, okay? And the way Caleb behaved in that, ugh, the bad ending, there's a good ending and a bad ending for those cards, and not me purposely choosing the wrong options during the interactive parts of the Kindle just to see the other bad, quote unquote, bad ending. My baby apples, you get what I'm saying. If you have his card, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm probably gonna rewatch his Tomorrow's Catch 22 card now, for science purposes, of course. But I would love if you let me know whether you miss, as a Caleb girly yourself, do you miss unhinged Colonel Caleb? Yes, or why not? Would you like to see him be more of his possessive, obsessive dark side? Now, I know his passionate overload card was super flirtatious and very sexy, and we got to see him, little tiny spoiler mention about the glass maze that he always wants to trap us. But this time he mentions that he would prefer if we found the entrance to that maze ourselves and got trapped by him ourselves. But again, I would love to see more of his possessive side. What about you, darlings? Let me know in the comment section down below, and I would love to read it and get back to you as soon as I can. Until the next one, my baby apples, bye bye.